My second one is, I think I don't know, you might be able to relate to this. So the second one is like my mum's chest,
I
right?
can relate to it, yeah. Of course I can. I've seen the websites.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It was there. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say you better not be able to relate because my dad is violent.
Okay. So what is it? What is it about your mum's chest?
I think it's so obviously.
Hey, come on. What I'm meant to say? I've never had anyone put their mum's chest into the Wonderbox.
So it's not her boobies.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know. It could be, and that's fine.
Guys, he's blushing.
I am blushing. I am. Yeah. Chest. So it's
yeah, like when I was younger, I remember. I don't know if you had this as well, but like when you cry or like if you hurt yourself, or even as an adult, if you cry, and my mum always does this thing. She just puts you on her chest,
yeah.
and she's like, Safi, which means enough. She's like, Safi, I've been too Safi. Enough, daughter, enough. And she's like, and it's such a comfort. It's such a, and I remember once hearing Ian Wright talk about it in the same way, and I was like, oh, other people have this too. Like he was saying, because he was talking about I think he was saying, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but I think he was saying liking about fuller figured women.
Yeah.
And he said his grandma used to always pull him into her chest, and he found such a comfort in that. And I relate to it. There's a comfort. You feel so safe. And like, it's just like nothing can happen. And like, so yeah, it's that nice feeling of like safety, security, protection.
Yeah.
I would say.
And would you ever deliberately cry just to get yourself in that magical space, or could your mum tell, or is it only for the presumably because you've got 13 siblings, it must be tough for her sometimes just to kind of go, oh, I wish I was like that woman in Predator with 3 tits that she could just pull in different kids. I love that, and I think it's really sweet. Like, I would really struggle with that. I can't.
Really?
Yeah,
You don't like physical touch? Or?
Nah, I'm sort of. I don't think I. I've never hugged my dad. I can't imagine what it feels like to be hugged by my mum.
Yeah.
It would give me the ick, which is clearly weird. But it's just the idea of like touching my mum's tits. It would just be like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I know that makes me strange, but I'm like, all right, mum, Jesus Christ, they'll take us away. But I love the fact that you get comfort from it, and that's what you should do. But it's we weren't a particularly tactile family, so we're not like.
We're not either, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We're not really.
But your mum knew that was the thing.
Yeah, when you cry and stuff, she'd pull you and go, "Don't cry."
Safi, I love that as well. Safi.
Yeah, Safi. It means enough, like enough. Don't like that kind of, but not like enough, not like that. Just like. It's okay, Safi, Safi, it's okay, like,
Then there's like a queue of 9 other
exactly.
siblings waiting.
Yeah,
exactly, we have to do raffle tickets, like, number 21!
Yeah, exactly. It's like this just lovely sort of chesty Argos. You just sort of sat there. It's beautiful, though. Was your mum a very sort of kind mum, or was she a sort of a stern mum?
I would say stern mum. And like when I was naughty, I used to be naughty at school only because like although I was born here and raised here, my dad didn't used to let us speak English at home. He was really like, you need to learn our language and our culture. We're Muslim Moroccans and we're British too, but in the home he wanted to foster the Moroccan side of us and the Muslim side and speaking Arabic and stuff like that. And I'm grateful for that because I'm in touch with my culture. I can cook all the food. I can speak the language. And I have these 2 brains as well. I have like the Moroccan brain and then the British brain.
All right.
And the third one is like the Muslim brain. And like you have to engage all of them sometimes. And when doing comedy as well, I'm like, is this going to work? Is this going to translate for the North Africans and Arabs? Is this going to work for the Muslims? Is this going to, so you have to run it through all these different like brains.
Have you ever performed in Morocco?
No, I've never, because the humour's a bit different.
Right.
Like, so I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd need like to practice a lot.
What as in you? Oh yeah, of course, because you'd have to perform. Have you ever done stand-up in Arabic?
No.
Right.
I do gigs that are like, we do it, there's a gig called Arabs Are Not Funny.
Yeah.
And we do that. And We do that, but like it's in English.
Yeah.
And anyone can come.
Yeah.
But it's just all the acts are North African or Arab
Yes.
or Middle Eastern.
But is it like that? Does it feel like a sort of communal gig?
Yes, it feels like, yeah, it does. It feels like, when you're doing, because you do it as well in your comedy, like you're doing stuff that's relatable. So do you know what I mean? Like when you're, the way you were talking about your parents and that you're not very tactile and stuff, other people are going to be able to relate to that. And when you hit that sweet spot where you don't have to explain too much, they get it.
Yeah.
So that's the good. So when I'm talking about things that are specific to our culture and stuff like that, I don't have to explain too much.
Yeah,
Whereas
right.
if I'm doing it to like,
Got you.
what do you call it? Mainstream audience, I have to build it up.
Yes.
I can just go in and bang and they'll get it. So there is that, but there's also pressure as well because it's your, and I do air quotes with this, like, because it's your people, there's pressure. Because sometimes, this is another thing, sometimes I feel like people want me to represent them in a certain way. Like I can't just be I can't be Fatiha. Like if I'm being Muslim, like the Muslims want me to be a certain way.
Right.
The North Africans want me to be a certain way.
Yeah.
The British want me to be a certain way. Like it's really hard sometimes. Like they put me in these boxes. I don't put myself in them.
Yeah.
And then when you don't do what they want, they get angry and stuff. So there's pressure with those gigs a lot. I feel the most pressure with those gigs.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Because you suddenly, you're right. Presumably, whenever anyone describes you, they're like, "Oh, it's the Muslim comedian Fatiha." Whereas nobody would ever describe me as, the white British comedian Russell Howard. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's only when you phrase that, I was like, "Yeah, God, that's so different." I've just got my name, whereas you've got a religion that you have to uphold or be a representative of.
Yeah.
And is that do you have certain areas where you think, oh, that's really funny, but I better not? Or
yes,
right, okay,
yeah, there are. I like to talk about. So the things I talk about are things I've lived, like experiences, things I've seen, I've heard, and stuff like that. And then sometimes, like if you want to talk about sometimes like the sexual stuff, maybe then they can get frowned upon,
right?
And it's like, oh, why are you talking like that? And I'm like, well, this is my experience. I can share it if I like.
Yeah.
And then they say like, oh, but a Muslim woman's not supposed to behave like that. I'm like, says who? Because I don't see you saying this to the male Muslim comedians.
Yeah.
Like, but you want to come to me. Don't come for me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm ready for you.
Yeah. But that must be
I've
so...
got 13 siblings, bro. Trust me.
Yeah. But that must be really, presumably, it must be so exciting being a sort of a trailblazer, talking about things like that.
Yeah.
But by the same token, kind of scary.
It is because you want to relate to. You want everyone. I want my Muslim audience to relate to me.
Yeah.
I want my British audience to relate to me. So it's difficult. And then if you take one, obviously when I do Muslim gigs where everything has to be 100% halal, and that's not a problem.
That'd be a great title for a show.
Yeah.
Just you, 100% halal.
Yeah.
But what are the things you would feel sort of risque talking about sexually?
I think just like sometimes dating stuff or like just simple. It doesn't have to be graphic, but just if you say like kissing or I was dating a guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even that, they're like, oh my God. Because sometimes at these Muslim shows, they can bring, like it can be 14-year-olds and think like their parents will bring their kids and stuff like that. And then they just want that kind of stuff, or even saying things like bitch or shit is like, oh my God. They grab their hijabs, and stuff like that. So it's tough. But this is what I'm like. Sometimes I feel like I have to write double the jokes. Yeah. Because you have to make things.
Well, it's three different worlds.
Yeah. And I want to be relatable to all of them. I do want to represent these people, and I do want to represent these, but I also have to be true to myself. Sometimes I feel like Venom. Have you seen Venom, the film?
Is that with Tom Hardy?
Yeah, I feel like that. Just like tearing yourself apart to be this and then and he's like, leave me alone. One day I'm gonna go crazy.